All right. Hello, good evening, everyone. So welcome to the third session of the course. And how have you been? I see some new faces here. We have some newcomers. And this week, nearly 10 new students enrolled in the course. I'm so happy about it. And so the more the better. Okay, so let's wait for a couple of minutes and until everyone comes in. Okay. It's 1800. All right. So maybe I think I should start sharing my screen. Okay. All right, let's go to our classroom. Let me drag this down. Okay. Hello, everyone, once again. Okay, so people keep coming. I hear the sound. So far, how many of us? 11. Yeah. And all right. Okay, good. So what is on our plate today? And by the way, you know, until others come, let me tell you about the classroom. I organize it a little bit. So everything new, like we're going to cover, somehow related, they will be in today's agenda. And then I have a topic here for assignments and give an assignment or future assignments. Of course, you won't see them until I actually assign them. And classworks, I separate them, you know, the materials that I'll be using during the classroom will be here and assignments will be here. And I'm also uploading here the recordings. By the way, I started recording right away. So, and also we have solution sections and the solution for the classroom assignments will be here. A classroom notebooks will be here, and for the assignments, it will be here. And also, and for the statistics reason, I'm going to take attendance. How am I going to take the attendance? As you see, there is this attendance here. I would like you to open this, how to say, question, actually, it's a question. I want you to go there, it's for today. Please go there and check the box. I'm here today. Yeah. So that way I will know you are present and I will take the attendance. So it will be open during the duration of the lesson. You won't be able to take the attendance after that. So you need to do it in the beginning. So I have a request from my students who joined me last week. They should do so, the same thing for last week as well, if they attended. And also for the first one, and also do the same thing, please. So let's get this out of the way before we actually start. So I have a message here. Okay, Mr. Would you share a link to join this classroom? Okay, the link is this. I don't know who is asking. Oh, so what do you mean? Is it Zoom meeting or you want me to add someone to this classroom? Harsh. So please let me know. We weren't present. So, okay, don't worry about it, okay? In the previous lesson, if you weren't here in the previous lesson, all you need to do is you need to go to, there is this recording, last week's recording. In the first week, actually, it was a kind of introduction. We didn't do much practically. So there is somewhere here we have, where was it? Classwork. And here, for the first week, you can take a look at this presentation. For the second week, I have the recording here. You can watch this one when you have time, okay? So, and you won't be responsible for the assignments, you know, the previous assignments, but it will be a good practice if you try to do them, because they will be here, and see if you can do them. And if you can't, you can always ask for help, and I can help you with it. And what should we do? Okay, I want to edit to. So you aren't in the classroom. Do you have Thames account, Harsh? Oh, okay, let me quickly add. It should be thamesbritishschool.pl, I guess, right? Okay, let me add you right away. Okay. .pl. Okay, so you are invited. Who else isn't in the group? Yeah, I mean, it's important for me for the statistics reasons. If you didn't attend the lesson in the previous weeks, you don't take the attendance for those weeks. Only start from this week. Okay. All right. So I think everything is clear now. And all right. So if you have any question, write in the chat, and I will revisit, come back and revisit again. All right. So first thing first, I want to start with last week's assignment. Last week's assignment, where was it? We had variables and data types. 7 students submitted. For the answer, I won't have time to go over for all of the answers for all of the assignments. So please find the solutions here, okay? Go to solution section and find the answers to them. But I'm going to go over a tip calculator challenge, okay? Because I had some time today and take a look at them. And by the way, I want to thank everyone who really takes time to do assignments and challenges. It really helps you a lot, you know, and it's really important to do the assignments, because during the lesson, and some of you cannot follow along with me. And so that's why it's important to do it. You can watch recording and do it, do the classwork. And you know, without really coding, just watching, it's really, you can still make improvement, but not as much as you want. So I want to share some of the works done by your colleagues, friends. There are really some good works, different ways, different solutions. You know, the good thing about Python or programming is that there are multiple ways of doing certain things. So let me, if you don't mind, I'm going to share some of the work. Claudia, you did a very good job, Claudia. Thank you very much for the job. And so let's take a look at how she did this. For the newcomers, by the way, we had a challenge, okay? The challenge was we were going to create a program that helps us calculate the tip. Imagine you eat, you know, in a nice restaurant, and maybe a couple of you, and then you need to give a tip, right, to the waiter or waitress. So how to calculate it? So this is the way Claudia did it. So let's see if it runs first, okay? And okay, let's see. It has to run first. The first time it takes time, as I told you before. Now it's running. Okay. Oh, there's a little, I think there's a little typo here. Okay, let's fix it. Yes. So now, so what was the total bill? I need to write you the bill amount. Let me make it easy. Okay, it was $100. Okay. And now next question is, how much tip would you like to give? Like percentage, right? Percentage. let's say it's going to be 20%. Okay, I'm very generous today. Okay, so it makes altogether 120 zloty. It should be 120 zloty, dollars or euros, whatever. So we are four of us. So I am supposed to get a result $30 per person, right? Oh, what is the 20%? Okay. It looks like Veronica, do you want to, Claudia, do you want to comment on this one? Do you, I didn't actually run the code, but you know, the way you went was really good, because what I like about it is that, so you had input, and because when you input text as a default, gets, you know, as string as default, and you converted it into integer, and also the percentage you converted it into integer. So people here, you actually didn't have to do it, because people are, anyway, it's a whole number, and you went in the right way, and you try to import math library. That's also good, but actually you didn't use it. And I also look at the way how you calculated. There must have been some mistakes in the calculation. Okay.
Yeah, I think that wasn't like my final version. I think I like finished it, and I don't know where I turned it in. I'll try to find it. I think that's not my final version.
Okay. All right, no problem. But anyway, you are on the right track. You know, for me, the end result is not the biggest thing, but I can see that you know what you are doing. That's a very good thing. Good job, Claudia. Okay. So I want to take a look at Krzysztof's, and I also like this one. And here what Krzysztof did is that he actually used the float instead of input. That's actually a good thing. Claudia's can work as long as the bill is a whole amount, but sometimes bill is not the whole integer, it's a float. So that's why Krzysztof converted into how to say float. For example, if I tried here, for example, 100.50 cents, you could have had error, Claudia, here. Okay, so that's why in this case float is a better option. So I'm going to make it 100 again. So I'm being generous, 20%. This is percent, by the way. So we are four of us. So yeah, the correct answer is $30. So what else we got here? And so another thing I like about this is that you use here backslash and Krzysztof. You know what you're doing, because this way, what difference does it make? Normally when you type the number, okay, this is, I will show you in a moment in different one. So it was going to show just next to it, how much is the bill and 100, and it doesn't look good, but with this trick, it started in the next line. That's a good thing. And he used float and tip percent, okay, integer, yeah, that's all right. And the formula, the way you went is also good, because you have bill plus, and then on top of it, you have the percentage plus the percentage of the bill and add it to bill, and then you divide it by the number of people. And another trick Krzysztof did here is that he rounded the number up to 2 decimals. So the result is 2 decimals. Imagine you have like $9.99999, okay? So he doesn't want to have so many nines after comma. He wants to have up to 2 digits. So that's also a nice trick. And another thing he used here is F string. So F string is basically, can I you use your sheet, Krzysztof. I want to show the difference between, I want to show what f string is. And here, for example, this is the result, okay? And actually, what it means here, another way to do it is that you could do it this way. Each person is to pay, okay, this amount and tip, and this way, it would be the same result if I didn't make any. This is another way. This one is another way of doing this, but actually this is a kind of advanced method. And normally programmers are doing this one. And you see, you don't have to do a lot of commas and everything. All you need to do is you need to put F in the beginning and double quotes in the beginning and end. So, you know, you just have one thing, one line. All you need to do is you need to put curly brackets around the variables, because this is not a regular text. This is a variable because you want to show it, and you just put a curly bracket around it. That's a really good thing. Very good job, Krzysztof. Well done. I want to show two more things. I also like Nurefshan's work as well. Very quick thing. I don't have time to look at all of them, but maybe in every lesson I will try to show some examples. So what I liked about Nurefshan's work is that Nurefshan also used this \n and float. Again, she correctly used float, and she did a nice calculation. And then she used here a different format, different way of kind of showing the digits. She used curly bracket and then colon dot. After that, she wanted to use 2, okay, 2 digits. This is another way of showing, kind of rounding things. And then also she used F string here. And a very good job, Nurefshan. And one last thing I want to show here is Visal's work. And so what she did is here, with all of the results, she had an explanation here, like total tip, total bill. It's a good thing. And another thing is that this trick, you know, she wanted to split the entry and output here. And how she did is that, you know, she had print double slash, or you could have actually, you know, star or whatever, and multiply by 20. It means whatever text here, she is going to have 20 times 40. So that's also a nice trick, you know, you might want to use. So yeah, again, there are multiple ways of calculating the result. It's also a very good one. So I think that's it now, and I'm going to put the solution into the classroom, and you can take a look at it yourself for the rest, okay? So since, if there are any newcomers, please take the attendance, okay? You just need to go here and select I'm here, and then it will be enough. So for last week, for those who were present last week, please do this, and then for the first week as well. Okay, so you have time to do this till the end of today's lesson. All right. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Today, we're going to start talking about lists, okay? In the previous weeks, we talked about Python, you know, programming and variables. We talked about data types, okay? We mentioned 4 basic data types, which were string, Boolean, integer, and float. So we are moving on, and we will learn Python list today. And then there will be lab work. We will also code together. I will give you time. I want you to try to code along with me, okay? So after that, we will have a kind of another challenge. I will start the challenge and I want you to complete it at home by yourself. So what you're going to do is at the end, you will create a kind of program like the game you're playing. Actually, there's heads and tails. We will do this one. And after that, it's a kind of intro. After that, there will be a challenge. And I give you here text. You know, this is kind of rock, this is paper, and this is scissors. So we're going to learn how to use a random. We will use random library, and then you will create a game. Rock, paper, scissors. You will, the computer will create a random. Choose one of these. Rock, paper, scissors, okay? And then you will also guess. There will be an input. If you guess, there will be a message. If you don't guess, there will be a different type of message. And so we will be creating this, and I think it's a fun game. But before doing that, we need to learn lists, and let's get started with lists, okay? So for the newcomers, by the way, I'm sure you're used to using different type of IDEs, for example, maybe Tani, maybe, I don't know, Replit, or maybe PyCharm, whatever. But, in data science, we use notebooks, because with notebooks, you can comfortably write notes and you can code at the same time. And there are some programs we installed. One of them is Jupyter Notebook, and the other is Visual Studio Code. And the students who were here last week, in the previous weeks, they know how to do it. And for the newcomers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a kind of tutorial for you about how to install both programs. But for today, you can use Colab. Colab is an online notebook. It's Google's. As long as you have Google account, you can use it freely. And I'm going to, but in today's lesson, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code. And for those who have Visual Studio Code, follow me. And for the newcomers, just stay here on this file. Okay, open it and just type your codes here. There's some instructions and then codes, instructions and codes. Type it here. So if you want to use this one, anyone use this one. Those who have Visual Studio Code, you can do it in Visual Studio Code. What we are going to do is we're going to download it and download it. So right now it's downloaded. And I'm going to locate it right now. It's probably in desktop. Let me move it here, but in fact, I already moved it before. So if you didn't, just drag it to desktop or wherever you want. And you can, I'm not going to replace it right now. So let me show you the step one more time. Download it from here. Download as, it's important that you downloaded it as IPYNB, because this is a notebook, not only Python, there are notes, so you need to use this format. And once you download it, drag it to desktop. And then here, we need to open this with Visual Studio Code. There are multiple ways of doing it. It's almost the same in Windows or Mac. So you need to right click on it and open with Visual Studio Code. Okay, you can just click and open it, or another way is because you installed it, right? It's in your program, find it in your program. It looks like I cannot find it because I have a lot of apps. I'm going to find this way. I will press Command and space. It's in Mac, okay? Command and space. I will type Visual Studio Code. and I will find it. So this is how I find it. Are you following me right now? Are you okay with me so far? Please write in chat if you have any problem, if you have any difficulties following me. Right now, I just opened the app. Now I'm going to open the file. From file, I'll go to open, and then I need to choose the location, which is desktop in my case. And here is the file. I'm opening it, and there I go. All right, great. So depending on your how to say settings, you might have different visuals, and I'm using, if you're curious about my how to say color theme, I'm using dark default color. There are multiple ways. By the way, which user I'm right now? Give me a second, please. Okay, and I'm in the right user. Okay, so this is the file. So if you are in Collab, you are here. Let's see if they are similar. This is Collab, and this is Visual Studio Code. We are having the same thing. All right. So if you're able to open the file either in Collab or Visual Studio, so let's get started. So, okay. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about lists. And so list is one of the most important topic in any kind of programming, including Python, okay? So there are many ways. I'm sure when you do IGCSE, I'm teaching IGCSE as well. So I have some students here. You learn this, but in a programming way, as if you will be a kind of engineer in the future. But we're going to look at a list from data science point of view, okay? So data science, it means you're always dealing with data. Imagine this is a kind of, think of as a kind of Excel table or Google Sheet table. You know, these are columns, okay? These are columns. And here we have rows, okay? We have rows. The original file is actually dataset is here. And actually we'll be using this one later, actual one. I will show you how to actually, this is right now as an image in our document. I will show you how to put, you know, plug this in our Python program so we can actually use the right data, but we're not there yet. We're just going to talk about basics of data. So everything you see here is a data point. For example, Facebook is, if, for example, if you open it in Excel, probably it will be, if this is a column, and maybe this will be A1, and this will be A2, right? So A2 is a data point. In this case, it's a kind of text string. So this one is A2 is also a data point, and it's an integer. If you look here, this is also a data point. I don't know, maybe D6 probably, yeah. And this is integer, as you see, integer. So yeah, this is integer, this is float. It means decimal. This is also float, okay? So there's nothing special about it. So you just need to know that this is a data point. Each one is a data point. Okay. And now let's move on. And this one is a data set, you know, in the data science terminology. This is a data set. This is a data point, okay? So in our data set right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. Later on, we will use a different term rather than column. We will call this feature, okay? Feature also, we can call it variable. Each one is a kind of variable or a feature, okay? And these ones, each column is actually a kind of observation, okay? Let's say this is about Facebook, one observation. This is about Instagram. So each one is a kind of observation, okay? And what else? So let me, give me a second, please. I need to open something here. Okay, so, and now what we need to do is I'm going to type slowly, and please feel comfortable, and maybe you can open this sheet and if you're watching my screen also, you can split your screen. On one side, you can have my screen, and on the other side, you can have your own screen. And I want you to try to follow along with me, okay? So now let's say I want to have this data point, and I need to give it store it here as a variable. For example, let me call it track name, because this is track name, okay? I'm going to call it track name, but it's in row 1. I just want to make it specific, row 1, okay? And because this is track name and Facebook, I will save it as Facebook. Facebook. So please notice that I save it in quotation because it's a string. So, and now I can, if I want to do any calculation or any manipulation, I can easily use this name now, because I assign this name, or I store this data point as track name. So let me store price as well. Price, let me give row 1. And what was the price? It's actually 0, right? 0. Same way, please do me a favor. Can you also store this, and this variable? You have, take your time. Can you store this, whatever name you want to give, okay? Currency, rating count, total, and user rating. Just below, hit enter, and store these 3 variables. I will also do it, and current row, okay, USD, okay. Let me give row 1. You know, it doesn't have to be row 1, so I'm doing it so that it's specific and you know which ones I'm talking about. You can do the same thing, and user rating, row 1. And I don't know, doesn't matter, you know, cheating, lazy to look at it. And user rating, what else? We had also rating count. User rating can't be this way. It should be out of 5. And what was it? Rating count, row 1. And this is just some number, but it's not important for me. So when I hit run, by the way, when you use Visual Studio Code, first time you start using it, you need to choose a kernel. Remember, we installed Python before we actually use Visual Studio Code. And we need to pick one of them, because I have multiple, I installed Python in different versions. I'm going to run the very final version here. We need to do it for the first time only. So as you can see, I stored it. It's working fine. It's green 1. And so if I want to call it in the future, I can call it anytime I want. Okay. So, right. For example, I want to, let me add another box here. For example, print track name 1. So when I hit like this, I have Facebook. So, and I told you last week, and for the newcomers, let me tell you again, normally when you do regular Python, you had to type print and then variable name, but in Jupyter Notebook, Visual Studio Code, or Colab, you don't have to do it. If you just type the variable name, it will just print it, okay? It saves us a lot of time. So that way, I can do like current row 1, and yeah, it comes here. And also, probably you noticed that, you know, before when I type, and it autofill my how to say rating, you know, it automatically comes here. How does it happen? Because I installed a couple of extensions last week when we installed this one. They're really helping me a great deal. And for the newcomers, I'm going to install one more time, and I will screen record it, and I will share it with you somehow, okay? So that you can use this thing yourself. So as you see, once you save it, you can use it. Now, next thing, storing rows as lists. Right now, you see, we are able to store each data point, but it's taking a lot of time. Can you imagine you have a lot of data and try to store each data, you know, one by one? It will take a lot of time. But the good thing is that we can store everything as a list, okay? For example, let me, okay. I want to have a variable name row. By the way, I'm sure maybe you learned already. And if you didn't, maybe let's do it now. Let's say my list. And so the way we create a list is like this, square brackets, okay? My list, square bracket. And then I can put here anything I want, okay? And now when I print my list, so as you see, it works fine. There's another way of creating lists, by the way. I don't know if you have seen it before in Python. Look at this, my list. And I'm going to type here list, okay? And remember, we have here square bracket, right? But this time I have round bracket, 1, 2, and 3. Let's see if I get the same result. I will put print my list because we have the same name. Just a second, list. Just a second, please give me a second. Probably, you know, I haven't installed here because as you see, list is a different color here. And when you have different color, it is actually built-in mutable sequence. And if no argument is given, construct creates a new empty list. Normally it works. Let me try it with a okay, my list, okay. Yeah, it worked. So it means, okay, let me rephrase it. So when you create an empty list, my list, there are two ways. This way, let me my give it, let me, my list 2. My list 2, and when I print my list 2, so it's an empty list, right? So let me do it the same way. I'm going to just copy this and paste it here. But what I'm going to do is I will delete this list and let me call this list 3 so that it doesn't take from here. When I run it, as you see, the same way. So when you initiate an empty list, there are two ways. You can either have square bracket with nothing inside, or a list and round bracket. This is just an extra information for you. So now what is next? What we're going to do here is that, and okay, here, let's come back here. Now, remember our this the first row here. In the first row here, we had Facebook, 0, price, and this one. Let me open here so that I can see my window, right? So I'm going to store this right now. Instead of one by one, data point, I will just store the whole row, okay? Row 1, let me call it row 1, and list, okay? And inside the list, and if you remember, we had first thing is Facebook, okay? It was a track name. Second one is price. And third one is currency, because it's integer. I have to have a quote. By the way, there are 4 data types, as you remember: integer, float, Boolean, like true and false, and string. And only string takes quote, okay? All the others are without any quote, okay? So the next one is rating count total. It is 297.46.76, okay. And the last one is user rating 4.5. So actually, we were able to store the whole row just as a list and one time. So it made life easy for us. By the way, I'm getting some sounds. I don't know if I get any message or anything. Are you raising hand or something like that? If anyone knows Zoom well, please let me know. I just started using it. It looks like everything is normal. Everything is normal. So as you see, like every time I want to add something, I can I can just click here and add code. All right. So this was about this is how we create a list about we store these things. Now, so creating a variable for each data point in our data set could be cumbersome. Fortunately, we could store data more efficiently using list. Okay, this is what we did. So again, I gave an example about, okay, we did it actually, this one, sorry. All right, another thing we need to do here is a list can contain both mixed and identical data types. As you see, we have different data types here, no problem. If you remember my list here, the name was row 1, right? So how many items do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was easy for me to count because there are only 5 items. Imagine there are 1,000 items, 958 items. It would take a very long time to count. The good thing is that we have where is it? A built-in function. I'm sure some of you know it already. So it's len, and then inside len, we just need to put the I think it was row 1, right? Yeah, row 1. And if I want to know how many items there, all I need to do is I need to print it. Print, and before variable name, I need to put len. As you see, there are 5 items. Okay, so it's the len function that helps us count the number of items. So, okay. All right. So how about what else we got here? And how about this? If I want to count len here, this one we did. Some parts are missing in my 2 files. So, but you got the idea, right? Here, I'm going to, let's say, try again. My other list. Let's say we have 1, 50, 40, 34, yeah, just whatever. Oh, this time, this is dictionary, by the way. When you have curly bracket, you don't create list but dictionary. So when I want to know the number of items, and I just need to my other list and run it. So as you see, there are 7 this time, 5 here and 7 here. Guys, I'm going a bit fast. Is it difficult for you? And are there any of you who cannot catch up? Because I assume that some of you know it, some of you know, and okay. So please don't be shy. If you really have problem, tell me, Mr. Ertan, please pause a little bit or give more explanation. I will do so when we actually start data analysis, because it will be new to most of you. But these are the things you probably recently learned already. And so that's why I want to go a bit fast. All right, so now let's come to indexing. So we just talked about list. Let me see if I can connect with my tablet. I couldn't before earlier. I want to, no, it's still not visible, although I'm in the same network. Anyway, I won't use it. All right, so imagine this is a row 1 in our data set. Now, please get used to data set. So we have this one, this is row 1. Now we have here, this one. So imagine we have a kind of square bracket here. In fact, why don't I use this? Where is it? Okay, so imagine this is my list. Okay, so this is a list, but actually we can spot each data point if we want to. So in order to do that, we need to first know that each item, there is index number here. And index number, let's say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, if I count, because, but we have actually index up to 4. It's because in programming, I think in most programmings, index start from 0. Okay, so this Facebook's index is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so you need to remember this when we talk about index, we're talking we start from 0. So imagine like if there are like 56th, if you want to talk about 56th item, and you're talking about index 55. Okay, so this is the formula. Like you need to have -1. Okay, so now this is the index, and let me how to clear all drawings. I don't want dirty page. Now how about retrieving data? Since now that we know the index, and I want to retrieve data. Okay, so now to make things easy, I'm going to copy and paste this one here. It's difficult to scroll up and down all the time. I'm going to paste this one right here. So this is my list. So if I want to catch this one, Facebook, what I need to do is I need to type the name of the variable. The name of the variable is row 1, okay? And I open a square bracket. And if I want to catch this one, what is the index? Index, it starts from 0, right? Because it's the first item, it's 0. So let's check it if I'm right or not. I'm going to print it. So when I print it, as you see, it's Facebook. Okay, so likewise, if I want to catch this one, 0, 1, 2, index 2. Okay, so it's, yeah. And likewise, I could do the same thing for all of these. Okay, so what we do is print row, list name, and then index number. There's nothing really special about it. Okay, all these texts are talking about what I just did. Okay, list name and index number, and here as we do. And here again, so index Facebook is 0, list name row 1, and I think we're too smart to go over and over again, so I'm moving on. Okay, so as you see, we can do the same thing over and over again. 0 Facebook, 1 0. I just did it about. Okay, and what else I can do here? Let me see. Okay. Retrieving list elements make it easier for to perform operations. For instance, we can select ratings for Facebook and Instagram and find the average or difference between them. Okay, I want to do some operations. I think it's a good idea. Let's do it. Okay, I'm going to have row 1 here again. This is my row 1. Row 1. Okay. Let me also store row 2, and let me look here from here. I'm going to row 2, okay, is about Instagram. Okay, and it's also free of charge, USD, you know, and the rating is, total rating is 200,062 million, actually 2,161,508. Yeah, and for actually Facebook rating was 3.5, and for this one 4.5. Okay, so these are the list I have. So if I want to do any operations here, okay, I want to create another list actually. I want to, for example, catch this one. This is, what was the name? It was total usage. Okay, so I want to create, for example, list 1. And list 1, in this list, okay, I want to have this one, row 1. Remember the index, it's 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I want to also catch this one, row 2, and 0, 1, 2, yeah, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. As you see, I created another list. So when I print list 1, so what do you think the result will be? Result is this and this. Okay, it's another list. And how about I create another list? I'm going to create another list, but this time with the ratings. Okay, so I'm going to just copy this and paste here, because ratings are just the next one, 4 and 4, 4. So when I print this time, I want to have, let me see the list first. Okay, I will have the average, but I want to show you first list 2. Okay, So I have 3.5 and 4.5. So if I want to have the average of this, what do I need to do? And I can actually sum it, okay? List to, there's a formula I haven't showed yet, but let me show you. Okay, this is total. So this is total. So if I divide it by 2, I have the average, as you can see. So I guess you understand what I did, right? I took the sum of this, just like len, I can put sum in the front, and I can just divide it by 2. That's the average. You see how this makes things easy for us. You know, we can store, pick any data point, and then save it as a new variable, and we can do some yeah, we can use it. What time is it? Okay, guys, let's take a break. After break, there's there's not much with the, there are a couple of things about list also. We will see what we're going to do, okay? And I'm not sure if we will have enough time for random things or not. We will see. Please take a break. And what time? So let's come back at 7:05, okay? 7:05. So see you then. I pause recording. And I will be here. And if you have any question, you can stay and ask me question if you have any. Let me pause.